Hello everyone, welcome to Crowdfunding Countdown episode 152. Let's get right into it. We're going to look at every single board game campaign finishing up this week, except for the ones that used a $1 pre-pledge, because we hate that practice, and you're not getting coverage on this channel. So let's start. Let's start right away. Let's start with this glory for glory. We have Unscrewed, a chaotic 90s cartoon-inspired battle royale board game for 3 to 5 players about hatching a scheme and watching it go hilariously wrong. Well, let's see what sort of random luck fest this might be. But it's funded, that's great, it's funded. From Edmonton. Hey, I've heard of that place. It's in Canada. We've heard of all the places in Canada. I'm sorry, the joke of the little kid's name being Oliver and this guy calling him Billy, but my name is Oliver, I'm just getting it into his face. Very good joke. Already off to a good start. It's a mosquito, Billy, of course it's gonna have blood. This really turned my opinion around. The thing that I like about this is the Fortnite aspect of it all, where the board will shrink every turn. It's just a programming game. You're going to put 3 cards face down. That's your scheme. Once it's locked in, it can't be changed. You've got North, West, again, South, improvise. We're going to draw a card from the improvised deck. Something random will happen. You'll push each other into hazards. It's like Robo Rally, but one that won't overstay its welcome. Each character has their own thing. You draw quirk cards from the deck after every round. You grant wacky effects, alter the game in drastic ways. Great, it shifts it up. I think this, you know what? I am delightfully surprised by this. Oh, 76 Canadian. Oh, I wanted it to be cheaper. Make it 60. Make it 60. But that's pretty much par for the course. 76 Canadian is 60 US, right? 55 US? I'm sure it'll tell me. Variety of effects can be triggered in a row. Bunch of chain reactions, over-the-top deaths. And I like that it said 15 to 20 minutes, because that's important in a game with player elimination. Oh, and I love that there's North, East, South, and West, because I get East and West continually confused. Yes, I'm 34 years old. It's because we say we read left to right, and then we say east to west, but really left to right, it's west to east. And, oh, it's just awful. It's just an awful time, anytime I need to think about geography. I do want to read the rules. I will click there. And I also want to look up US dollars, 55. There we go. But I think that's pretty self-explanatory. I like the quirk deck. I like the improv deck. I think it is a lot of chaos. You move around programming style, trying to anticipate each other's movements. Zany things will happen, and you get to choose when the zany things happen. And I think that is really good, that you can improvise and it can go horribly wrong or horribly right. I just want to know how much power you have without improvising, in case you don't want to worry about it. That's kind of the only thing I want to look up here. Oh, I think you're just trying to push each other into hazards. And the quirks will change things. Okay. So the attack cards kind of only come from the improv cards, which is a little not as exciting, because then it really is just random luck fest. But I think I can get on board with that being part of the design, because you may want an attack and you might get a movement. I think that you can push people into hazards. That's important. So if you anticipate, you can push people into to get damage. Like, there needs to be a way to get damage in a way that makes sense and is predictable. And then there also can be a way to deal damage randomly. It feels like it's going to be a little too much damage randomly for me. I would want a little bit more of a balance, but that's okay. US, Canada, expected shipping, $20. Max shipping, $30. No matter what happens, besides another global pandemic, we won't charge more per copy than this maximum price. Great. So you just pick the maximum price, $30. So it'd be $100 to get this game. Again, a little bit too much of a random luck fest for me. But if you like Robo Rally, or if you wanted something a little bit quicker than Robo Rally, you can check this out. That finishes Thursday, August 29th at 12 p.m. Moving along to Paragon, Monsters and Mayhem, TCG, CCG Founders Edition, except nope, we're not, because they also had a $1 reservation. So no coverage for you. No free coverage. I'm just, again, highlighting this, pointing it out. I normally just wouldn't even say them, but I don't want people to be like, hey, you missed this thing. And also, I feel like it's beneficial for those of us who want to vote with our wallets and not help those who continue to go forward with this trend that I want to see die a horrible death. Hopefully that's helpful to point them out. But again, you don't need another collectible card game. You don't. Moving along, we've got this Hobby Case, the 3D printable STL. Hobby Case is a modular, expandable system designed to display your collections and store all your games and hobbies. Just looks like it's trays, right, to be put into any sort of bookshelf? I don't know. I'm interested. Yeah, it's just a number of different shelving that you can put in. Or maybe you are literally printing this entire thing, which would be wild. Seems like you're just printing a big old hobby case. Yep, just why buy a shelf when you can print it yourself? That's what this one is. 2 free skins for backers only. So some textures, just some different textures. I mean, I don't hate it. You're going to get all the STL files though for $68. I kind of don't think it will be cost effective to print shelves when you could just buy shelves. Like you can just get a piece of lumber, right? Instead of making a 3D printer print this for 3 weeks. You could just, by that time, you could chew through the piece of lumber yourself. Large 3D printer not needed. Oh, don't worry, because you can put it all together. I mean, I really like the concept. I like that people are doing such wild things with 3D printing. I also kind of feel in the 3D printing community, this stuff you could find. It exists. But maybe not. Maybe because it's a larger scale version of this. I don't know. It's like with these 45 backers who are getting a commercial license, they're going to print it. They're going to send it to you. How much is that going to cost you versus just getting any shelf? Like there are a lot of different shelves out there. But hey, I like innovation. I think some people might really enjoy this. I think it's one of those things where if you just think about it, you'll realize, oh no, this is probably fine. This is probably something we don't really need. But hey, maybe you do. That finishes Thursday, August 29th at 6:50 p.m. Moving along, we have the Cats of Mont Saint-Michel. Become a cat swashbuckler during revolutionary France in this exciting solo co-op campaign game. Back now and get a free, exclusive metal coin. Okay, let's see. I like that there's a book, a little ring book. I really do like that. Let's check it out. I'm pretty intrigued. Raybox has successfully delivered 4 crowdfunding campaigns. Okay, which ones? Zombies. Oh yeah, Escape from Project Reese, Gates of Niflheim, Escape from Stalingrad Z. Yeah, okay, cool. Now they just added cats to it because they're like, zombies they're not selling. You know what are selling? Cats with swords. And I happen to agree with you. 1 minute setup, love that. Compact play area. Oh, the perfection pledge. No, what's the actual one? A solo co-op kiddie game. Like you're gonna play this solo. This is a solo game, likely, right? It's gonna be a little book that you can pull out. You can add your little standees on it. You can roll some dice. And I think you can have a fun little campaign experience. Revolutionary France offers a unique backdrop for a story where your cat heroes will need to face the challenge and banish the Crimson Cardinal Rat and his vermin army. Advance your characters, upgrade their skills in each scenario, love that. Choose your own adventure in an ongoing story created based on your choices through branching narrative. Game plays out over a set of linked scenarios that create an ongoing story, and you have your scenario book, which creates the board, which I friggin' love. It's my favorite thing. In terms of a dungeon crawler, I would much rather have a little book. Here's what we get in the box. You get your adventure book, you get some standees, you get a bunch of cards with loot and skills and tavern cards. The deluxe set adds a whole bunch of stuff. Wooden tokens, minis, the bonus hero mini, Friedrich. I mean, very cute. Let's be real. The Vermin Army minis, those do seem fun, if I'm honest. Okay, the Cool Cat Pledge, $50. So it's 65 Canadian, 50 US. Everything you need to enjoy the Cats of Mont Saint-Michel. Gameplay. Actions, use action points per round for moving, attacking, investigating, and searching. Each scenario grants unique and diverse challenges. Yep. Move around. You can choose prowl, stride, or pounce. Great. Multiple movements, that makes it feel fun. Attack. Use tactical maneuvers to strike down your vermin foes before they can do the same to you. Using the streamlined Paths Unknown D12 dice system, combat is simple yet engaging, with range and line of sight. Simple and intuitive. Your first combat round will immerse you into the cat adventures. Your skills, +1 to attack rolls with shuriken. So you'll just slowly grow a little bit more powerful. Free rules. Download the free rulebook and in the introductory scenario. Yes, please. I kind of want to just see what this D12 system is, but otherwise I think I get it. Pick a target with line of sight, roll the attack dice, add any modifiers, determine if a hit's been scored. Roll d12 equal to the attack dice of the weapon. Oh, okay, so you just roll a number of d12. That's easy. If any of the attack dice roll the numbers are equal to or more than the weapon's stun value, the target's stunned. So it's just, simple stat checks. You roll the dice, you see, hey, did I hit? I hit? Great. Boom. Do a little damage. Okay. I mean, you could go worse. It seems decently in depth. You're gonna go through a number of different scenarios. What's shipping like? USA 11 to 19. There was so much noise happening outside my room right now. Canada 15 to 24. So $24. Again, it's like $100, you know, for me, because 65 plus 25 US converted, it's about 100. But I really like the charm of it. I like the minis. I think this seems pretty neat. And yeah, I think definitely worth checking out for sure. It's raised a bunch, and I think that's potentially justified. If you're interested in that, it finishes on the 29th at 6:59 p.m. We're moving on to So You've Been Cursed. An asymmetric 30-minute board game for 0 to 2 players with inventive gameplay by Scott Alms and striking art by Kwanchai Muraya. I think this is basically the same game as So You've Been Eaten. Probably the same system. That was a game that had middling reviews, but let's see if this changes anything. A game that can play with 0 players doesn't interest me. I think that's a fun gimmick to be able to put on your box. It's going to get people to be like, what, 0 players? Wow, I can just watch the gameplay itself? Why? Do you watch any automation? No. So why do you want to be the computer so that the game has fun? Is that going to be fun? It's not going to be fun. But let's check it out and see. It just seems like such a silly gimmick. But, you know, it seems like maybe an okay game. This is a USA-only campaign. Scroll down to see options for international availability. I like that that's right up at the top there, right up the top. I feel like I've been cursed. Cursed to crowdfund the countdown countless times. The wizard has to obtain ingredients, steal coins, and cast spells in order to find a cure before they succumb to the curse, whereas the monster has to eat as many people as possible. Essentially, you run around this little board right here and either collect ingredients or collect people because they're monster ingredients. The basic pledge is $29. The premium is $39 or 54 Canadian. That just comes with wooden tokens. Oh, it seems like the villager tokens are fine. You just get to improve these ingredient tiles. Who cares? I don't see a point to spend $10 on all of that extra stuff. And if you've backed 5 previous games, you can get $5 off. What a deal. Okay, here's the conceit that the wizard and the monster share the same player token, so it's like the very successful Mario Party 9. And Mario Party 10, famously in the bottom 4 of all the Mario parties, because you don't have any agency. This is a nice breakdown, though, of what the game is. I really appreciate that. Wizard player's turn begins with a new villager arriving at the village. You have 3 actions. You can buy ingredients from villagers, use those ingredients to mix cures and potions, or place spell cards at specific locations, or steal coins. The monster is a little bit more constrained. In each of its 3 feeding actions, they may move up 2 spaces away and eat villagers or sheep. Yum, 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 yum. Crossing a district may rouse the town guard, and whenever you eat a villager, there's more panic. There's an automa for both of them. I do like that there is an automa for both the wizard and the monster. It is possible, it works, and we consider it a valid way to play. I just don't see why it's fun. If you've played So You've Been Eaten at 0 players, please tell me why it was enjoyable, or please tell me that you were wrong. Yeah, let's look at the rules. I got a pretty good sense of it, though. Just route planning while someone else is also trying to route plan. I think the back and forth could be fun, though. Oh, and then there's Rooster Solo. Yeah, because it seems pretty simple. I don't know. I mean, well, I do know. It's $29 US or $40 Canadian, and then shipping, right, is just to the US, because then we get better check our international availability. It will be in retail, and it will go to certain stores. So 401 Games is a great game store in Canada. It says it'll be fulfilled within the US. Okay, and it's about $9 for shipping. So $38 for this game, for a little 2-player game. Maybe that's not bad. It's expensive when you translate it, but maybe that's not so bad. But if you're interested in that, it finishes Thursday, August 29th at 6:55 p.m. All right, next up, this is just a little thing that I think is cute. It's a 2024 Dice Advent Calendar, 24 mystery sets. Dice Advent Calendar with 1 dice per day to 1 set a day. All the sets are for 2024. It will cost, how much are you going to cost? Just the dice, 1 mystery set. Okay, $10 for a mystery set. 24 dice, $30. Or for the full Advent Calendar, $42. And tells you the amount of dice that are in there. So if there's a dice aficionado, what a fun little Advent Calendar thing. And I want to share this idea because shout out to Hillary in Discord, came up with this idea for that we might do over the course of the holidays, is if you have like a little gaming community, what would be a fun thing to do is choose like the 12 games of Christmas and you pick the 12 games that your friend needs to play. And so you can think about if your friend like normally plays with their family, if they play solo, if they play with just one person, you can get that consideration. Like your friend should consent to this and tell you what they want out of it, and then you can curate. You can curate it for them. You can pick games that they haven't played in a while. And then they go through it. They're like, whenever they're going to play a game, they open it up and they have to play that game. I think that idea sounds really cool. And I think advent calendars are fun. There's something fun about the surprise of it. So if you're interested in this little dice advent calendar, you can check this out. I always find dice are expensive and I don't need them, but some people like them. So there you go. That finishes Friday, August 30th at 1 a.m. Moving along, we're back to the solo game of the month. It's that time of the month again. Gabe Barrett is saying you can build your team and perfect your starting lineup as you try to win the world championship in this puzzly drafting game, the 7th inning stretch. Okay, I've generally been impressed with the solo game of the month. Only a couple haven't hit with me, and I'm not a solo gamer, so I haven't gotten any of them. But just for a value perspective, they're always pretty good. They're $24. That's always the price, and the shipping's cheap. I bet it's $5 again. So you can get something like this for $40 if it sounds interesting and exciting to you. It's a solo card drafting and dice checking baseball game. You're going to get the people who you want to play on your team, and then you're going to check those dice and hope that they score you runs. Draft your team, schedule your lineup, then roll and modify dice to determine the outcome of offensive plays and defensive innings. The plays are so offensive, not offensive, but they're just offensive. They really make all the fans mad. Engine building and push your luck mechanisms paired with nostalgic 20th century baseball card aesthetic. Not to mention a special duel mode where you and a friend can play out a full 9-inning game in under an hour. That's kind of interesting. Goodbye, solo game of the month. Hello, Duel Monsters.
So it's just like Duel Monsters.
Nah, I mean, it's not. It's not even close. Set your lineup, choose your pitcher, manipulate the results, move around bases, and score runs. See, look at you running around. Make the playoffs, win the championship. Download the rulebook, yes please. Okay, anatomy of cards. Player card, starting batter, the resources that you gain, the tier, the player name, outcomes and conditions, so if you roll certain things. And then player card, tier 2 pitcher, you have the stamina. So you only have 1 stamina there, but you can ability granted for adding exhaustion to this pitcher. Pitchers will have abilities that they can use more than once, or sometimes just one time. So in spring training, you draw 2 cards from the yellow tiered deck. You shuffle the decks, they're all kind of tiered. You add 1 card to your bench, and then you add a card to your schedule, so they're dual-sided. Play 3 games against the team on your schedule. You draw more as the game goes on. There's all this information about how you cycle your batters and how your cards flop back and forth, which is important. You basically set your order of cards, choose where randomly that's going to start, then go through all of the offense and the defense. You can use dice to potentially steal a base, spend tokens to reroll. You can pair your dice, whatever they do, to what the conditions are on the card. So you can walk, you can run, you can hit a home run, etc. Okay, so you're rolling the dice, you're choosing how many dice you have, how many dice you're going to add to the thing, and trying to roll and hit your runs as effectively as you can. Yeah, 5 to 6 for the shipping prices. Again, it doesn't seem bad, just a little dice rolling game. I think pretty fine. Compared against 20 Strong if it's dice rolling. I don't know if you love baseball. Check it out. That finishes on the 30th at 1:59 a.m. We are not going to cover this next one because wouldn't you know it, another $1 pre-pledge. They are all popping up. These Dogs with Jobs, a competitive game of working canines. They did a $1 pre-pledge. And I can't imagine that it's a fantastic game because they had to rely on that. Is that some sort of fallacy? Probably, but I don't care. We're not covering this, and I'm not interested in knowing about it. I don't need to play it. I'm sure there are many other games that have cute dogs in them. One of those things being called TikTok. Okay, let's move along to Kritterforce, a pocket-sized strategy card game of cards and dice. As I double-check, nope, sorry, that one also isn't. Man, we're not going to cover this either. And this is really upsetting because they raised $4,000 for their game. You know that does not cover their marketing costs. How could it? They're using Game Crafter to produce and ship to all backers, just so that people hope that it's good. I don't see how these people have made any money at all. And so for every campaign that actually kind of breaks its goal, I mean, it's still $91,000, right? There are countless games that use the $1 pre-pledge that don't. And I think at this point, perhaps we could look at the sample size and look at the amount raised and see, is the $1 pre-pledge the be-all and the end-all? Is it adding value to your customers, or are you alienating the customers who are the biggest whales in the crowdfunding industry and who don't want it? Probably the second one. I know quite a lot of people who spend money willy-nilly. In fact, they all watch this channel, and they need to stop spending money willy-nilly. So honestly, the $1 pre-pledge is good for that. But, you know, it's still ludicrous to me that this still keeps going. And it still keeps going. Stuff keeps popping up, even though this was added a while ago. Anyway, makes my job a little bit easier. We're going to move on to this one because it's going to be quick. Date or Dump, a judgy conversation-based card game all around toxic dating decisions. Join the Kickstarter campaign today. You know what this is. It's gotta be a funny card game, baby. I assume it's just a very easy conversational game that 60 people have decided to spend $4,000 on. So average $65 Canadian. Oh, look at that. Just jumped up. 2 people spent $300. They must love it. It seems like there's barely a game here, and it seems like you're just going to draw cards and you're going to say, hey, is this a good thing or is this a bad thing? I mean, date or dump. They pull out date or dump on the first date. Yeah, that's probably a dump, isn't it? Or not, because unless you do me physical harm, I'm probably gonna like you. Don't tell Renee. She knows. So you draw 1 from a 1, 1 from a 2, 1 from a 3, 1 from a 4. You get to know them more and more. It's £20, $36 Canadian. I mean, and then you vote for whatever the most toxic relationship is. The most toxic relationship is my relationship with the $1 pre-pledge. Let's be perfectly clear. But other than that, you know, it seems unoffensive and it seems fine. It seems certainly better than Cards Against Humanity. I absolutely would want to play this game because it's more of a conversation-y thing. It's kind of like Dream Crush. I would just pick Dream Crush over this probably because you get art with it. It still creates those conversations around the table. But yeah, I mean, it's fairly innocuous, and what more can I say? It just seems fine. You all know it by now. That finishes Saturday, August 31st at 8:59 a.m. Moving along to this, Bloodstones, Dwarves, and Gin. I always thought Dwarves preferred ale. Bloodstones comes roaring back with 2 new factions, a solo mode by David Turksey, and more maps. You'll also be able to grab a selection of goodies to upgrade the original game. Okay, let's check it out. I think you all need to watch the video of this because it ends with what should have been, well, what was bigger, brutal battles. And should have been Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. You're just adding 2 additional factions, which is cool for fans of the main game. How much have you raised? 244,000. That's pretty good. How much did the original Bloodstones raise? I mean, I like Martin Wallace. Original Bloodstone raised Australian 433, 395. So either people are returning to the same well, or they're just jumping in now. 2 new factions, solo mode. Maybe because it's got a solo mode. Bloodstones, I covered. When did I cover that? Oh, that was way back in episode 55. Jeez. August 16th to the 23rd of 2022? That was a while ago. That was funny and informative, Chris of the past. It's almost like you used to have standards. But yeah, Bloodstones is you draw 6 tiles from a bag. Each tile will have a cost. And then you need to pay other tiles to spend that tile and put it on the board. You get 2 total shuffles of all of your tiles. Once you're through that, you're done, but everybody else keeps going. This just now adds more factions. I akined it to Small World meets Race for the Galaxy, and I think that akinning is a correcting. The Mysterious Sand Dwellers and the Tenacious Mountain Kingdom. Plus, I hear there's going to be another expansion coming called the Marsh Women and the Bog Children. Oh, and don't forget about the Mulch Uncles. The Mulch Uncles, they're the scariest of them all. If you want everything new, it'll still cost you $147 Canadian, 105. Jeez. Of Sand and Shale. If you just want the expansion, it's 55. Yeah, I guess. The Deep Halls, this is your gameplay all in, 144, $200. I just don't see it. I'm sure the pieces are nice. I mean, Martin Wallace has good design, so I believe in the asymmetry, but even still, it just, That's 200 bucks plus whatever shipping, 40? Oh, 18. That's nice. For the expansion, it's 18. Yeah, I still think it's too expensive, but it's kind of nice that Bloodstones has been out in the ether by now. Let's see how it's doing. 7.7, game found. First edition, they stopped playing with the Horde. There are many war games. This is one I'm most likely to get to the table for my kids. Yeah, or just play Small World. So much not to like. Tiles don't stack. Map too small. Too long. Yeah, that's awful. Long but somewhat boring gameplay. Hey, my new favorite area war control game. So mixed. Mixed. B. An 8 is not a B. It is definitively an A-. I don't know. Like, I just don't see it. I don't. Maybe by playing it and seeing the asymmetry and seeing the powers of your people and feeling the board out might feel a bit better when you have that economy of what do you add to the board and what don't you. I just think if this is the type of game that if I owned, I think it would sit and shrink for years, like literal years. I don't think I would ever feel the need to pull it out. But if you are different, well, check it out. The finish is September 2nd at 4 a.m. That's Monday, September 2nd. We're going to move on. We got a few more finishing up then as well. Blackbeards Lost Fleet, pirate board game about betrayal and opportunity that uses worker placement and deck building mechanics. I like those two things. Tell me more. I love when pirate songs are just legally distinct Pirates of the Caribbean soundtrack, changed just enough to count as a new song. This is a troubling number though. 74 people have raised $20,000. You know, that means an expensive price. Core game is about 90 bucks and only 3 people have done the core game. The deluxe is $150 because it comes with wood and stuff, and only 3 people have done that. Then there's a treasure chest where only 4 people have done that with neoprene. There's a pirate where you can become part of the game, but you don't get a neoprene mat. That's $300. And then you can have a retailer's pack, which nobody's done. Blackbeard's cabin, which is $1,000, which 1 person has done. Oh, okay, then there's an early bird. There's some early bird stuff. All right. Okay, that's a bit better. You get a first player marker. That was the early bird bonus that you missed. Take what you can. Give nothing back. You're trying to take over Blackbeard's fleet after Blackbeard has Ferris Buellered his day off out of here. And apparently you have Harry Potter photo cards. Everybody's just really mad that Blackbeard isn't there. Blackbeard was the only person who can keep the peace. And so now it's up to you, Black Powder Pete. Mend your cutlass and your custard. The road to the top will be strewn with mutinies, and taking control of the abandoned fleet, gaining influence among the flying gang, is surely going to help. Maybe you'll be the one to find one of the legendary treasures. So there's going to be a bunch of different boats and stuff like that that you will have to take control over. I'll tell you, Knight Burgess could meet me in a dark alley at night. Same with Filthy John. Oh, baby. Oh, Filthy John. I'm sorry, Knight Burgess. You're done. Filthy John has my heart. Oh, look at all that filth. He's just covered in it. Filthy John. Hello. I mean, I don't see how everyone has a real bar fight over wanting to all be Filthy John. Like, in what world and in what game group are you playing with that everybody doesn't immediately reach for Filthy John? Your hands touch. It could have been a rom-com meet cute, but then you realize what is at stake. You all pull out your pistols and shoot each other so that one of you can be the true Filthy John, or you and Filthy John can be together at last. I'll tell you. You should hear his jokes. Surprisingly, very kid-friendly. You wouldn't expect it. How to play, please tell me. There's just a game. Just a thing from Genders Gaming. Okay. I hope there's a rulebook. I don't think there's going to be a rulebook. Shipping to Poland, €5. €17 to Europe, $29 to Canada. So even just getting this game would be like $140 for this worker placement game that they haven't given me the rulebook, but I guess I'll watch a little bit of that video that the person learned by reading a rulebook. That's kind of a fun deck building thing. You start out with 10 cards, and then you remove one of them. And so you get to remove one of your starting cards in secret. I really like that as a lovely little way to start the game and for you to have choices. Like, I really, really like that a lot. I think that's a very fun thing and gets me excited. I just think it's a great idea. All right, you play your cards. That'll determine where you can go, and that'll determine what rewards you get. You use those to buy new cards and take over some boats and throw some rum around. It seems fairly standard, and I don't know if that warrants a $140 price point for me, but who knows? Maybe you really love Filthy John, and who could blame you, must be in some relation to our good friend Slippery Jim, who, once I have more time, I know those characters will appear again. Oh, sweet Slippery Jim. Sweet, sweet Slippery Jim.
Oh, the
No, I wasn't called. I said when I had more time.
It's always time to have a little slip and
Okay,
slide.
yes, you have all the time in the world. I know you won the lottery.
Oh, I did. I love spending that
And
money.
yeah, okay, I don't
love
want
spending it all over me.
No,
and draping
please,
my body in
please
jewels.
stop.
Draping
Please
myself in
stop.
opulence.
Why isn't it Maggie anymore,
Well,
Slippery?
Yeah, because you love me the best. I know the truth. Because
Yeah,
you love
you know
my
who's gonna
jewels.
chase you away?
No, who?
All right.
What do you, not Black Powder Pete? I can tell
Okay,
you.
yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I knew you'd be fine.
In Night just go away.
No, that's not who I want.
Oh, no.
Hey,
Oh, no, who that?
Yardy, bargle.
Thank you.
No.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's me, Filthy
no, I'm so
John.
sorry.
Oh, okay, this
I used
is
to be
getting...
filthy.
You're not filthy, I'm the filthiest.
Well, for Filthy John.
Get out of
thank
here.
you.
Oh,
wow.
Get
Filthy.
out of here.
Okay, Filthy John, you don't have to... Filthy John, please.
What do you
Please,
want?
we got rid of Slippery Jim. I
Yeah.
don't need you here.
Well, you're called for
Oh,
me,
no.
and that's what I'll be.
Oh,
Old
Filthy
Argly
John.
Bargly, stay in the sea. Argly Bargly.
Let's
what
move
can you do?
along
And I'm gonna fall
to
off the
Crow. Yeah, I did it. I thought it was Crowd, but no, it's Crow Drinks Water, a strategy party card game. A party game for 3 to 6 players involving hand, cards, management, bluffing, and exciting blind draws. Team mode is a lot more fun, so do that instead. This 3 to 6 player game is perfect for a corporate reunion because there's only going to be 6 people coming to your corporate reunion. Take on the role of different crows and participate in the competition to see who becomes the new Crow King, collecting tributes and offering sweet fruits. You gain the favor of the Holy Grail. But careful, don't mix up those poisonous fruits that look similar in shape. Offering filthy things is great disrespect and blasphemy to the Holy Grail. Of course, here's how the game works. You have 5 choices of cards. You reveal one of them. You make offerings to the Holy Grail, gain opportunities of drinking water. If you draw water, you advance a space on the Holy Tree. If you draw poison, well, you retreat, so back or forth. Return the action cards. Okay. I'm using my skill. Go away. Poison. Water. Some pages of the rulebook, it's the first 2 pages of the rulebook of stuff you've already said. I think the retrospective makes me just be a lot harsher. Because I'm just done. I'm just done with bad games. This seems... No, it doesn't need to exist. I'm sorry, Crow Drinks Water. It just doesn't. If you want it, though, 1 set would cost you $12. 5 sets would cost you $30. So you can get it for $6 plus 20. So you get it for $26 or $32 in US. 40-something dollars. There you go. Finishes Tuesday, September 3rd at 2:51 a.m. if this enormously intrigues you. And we're on to the final one, which I am really excited about because this was just in the latest death match, the 2-player death match. We have Dungeon Twister 20th Anniversary Edition. Unleash your inner strategist in this twisty dungeon. Dive into an ever-changing dungeon with deep strategic gameplay, stunning miniatures, and quick setup. So they're throwing in minis because it's an Anniversary Edition, and that way they can charge more. When the standees were fine, but everybody now goes, standees? Ooh, I'm not playing with that trash. So that's why we have this one. What a fun video that was. It's 2 to 4 players. It's more 2 to 2 players. You have 2 sides. You're going to be running to try to get to the other person's end zone, but they're going to try to punch you in the face so you don't get there, essentially. And the key to this is that at certain points, the dungeon tiles, there's sort of 8 tiles. It's laid down. Sure, there'll be a picture. These tiles is kind of a 2x4 grid, and you'll flip over these tiles, and you'll be able to twist them as well. So if you start on one end, you can twist and kind of shift up the landscape as you're playing. I think this does look fun. I think it's cool that it's getting a new reprint. The Goblin is €69 though. Like, ugh. You get the Paladin Dragon expansion. It really feels like this game shouldn't be that much. You get 16 minis in the core box, 2 sets of 8. You both have the same as you're trying to run through. You have the same characters, so nobody can complain. You could get 3 to 4 players, or you get brand new characters. Keep in mind that if you wait, or if you get the original stuff, these were standees back in the day, so a lot cheaper. €69 goes to 106 Canadian. And then there's shipping. Shipping to America's Own, it's like 28 to 32. I just don't see how you justify this. It does look like a really fun game. It does. I was rooting for it to move on in the 2-player deathmatch. You can go over and check out that video. I'll link it at the end to see how well it did, because I forget. Maybe it won the whole thing. It didn't. But it seems like a really simple, quick game, but not something I would want to pay this much money for. You only have 4 action cards, and you get to see what your opponent played last time, which they cannot play again this time, so you can prepare for it a bit. Then you spend your action points to perform various actions, running around, revealing tiles, rotating them, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, cool concept. Happy that it's getting its own anniversary edition. It's just not something that I'm particularly into. So that's it. That is it for the week. Every week I do a pick for me and a pick for you. The pick for me being the thing that I am the most interested in mechanically. I would be the most excited to play that specific game. The pick for you being the thing I think if you get it, you will enjoy it. And am I still hurting from doing this retrospective and recommending things? I don't know. I don't think there's going to be a pick for you, but let's go do a little grunt down and see. Yeah? Nope. Meh. Yeah. No. Yeah. Meh. Nope. 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 Okay. So we've narrowed it down. You know what? I'm going to do this. The pick for me is Unscrewed. I think Unscrewed is legit the thing that I would want to play the most. I like how things shrink. I like the time that it's not going to take that long. I think the programming might be fun. It might be zany. I don't think it'll overstay its welcome. Yeah, that would be my pick for me. I think maybe the pick for you would be Cats of Mont Michel. It could be a fun little adventure. They are a proven company with this format of sort of binder games that tell a campaign, kind of basing it off of their history. If you wanted to take a shot at it, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. There's been some enjoyment of Escape from Stalingrad Z and their other sort of games, so that's a potential. So yeah, I'll give it to the Cats. I'll give it to the Cats of Mont Saint-Michel if we had to have a pick for you. But again, like, remember, crowdfunding is a crapshoot inherently. If you don't know the company, if it's a new company, if it's a new thing, you're going to be waiting for a year and a half to get this game, which means your excitement needs to be at a maximum, that a year and a half, when it arrives, you are excited about it and you don't go, meh, fine. I've had a few of those where I'm like, meh, not really that excited about it. That's clearly just a flash in the pan moment instead of something where you are actively looking forward to it. Like, I'm thinking about the Switch 2. You know, I enjoy playing the Switch. I rarely play it. But I've thought about it consistently, right? When you find your mind returning back to it, I'm saving up my Shopper's Optimum points so that I can get it for free. But when you consistently think about these things and you come back to them, I think it's that sort of longing that means it's a good purchase. Like, I haven't purchased that much of Etherfields. I haven't played that much of it, and I have all of it. Zach, Brandon, and I were playing through it, and who knows if Brandon will ever, play games with us ever again. But it was enjoyable, and I thought about it a lot when it was going to be delivered. So I don't regret that purchase whatsoever. I did an all-in, and I really don't regret it. I'm very happy with that as an idea. But it's those things that you got to be thinking about. Like, will any of these be things that you think about past this? For me, absolutely not. There's nothing on this list that I will give another second thought moving forward. Just really nothing. None of these could ever come close to affecting me. Just won't. And so I really think it's important to think about that and to, always practice restraint in those regards, because then you have more time to play the things that are going to be actually good. The problem with having a large collection is that you feel like, oh, I want to play the games that I have, and I got to get to all of them, and I got to get through all of them in a year with this challenge. You know why? If you had less games, you would play the ones that you like more. That's just the simple facts. So I'll leave you with that. Let me know in the comments. Anything. I don't care. I like hearing from you. Like, whatever you say is great. But let me know if you agree with that last sort of idea or not. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. And, actually, this is very important. I'm going to timestamp this. Is very important. Well, it's not really very important. I guess it kind of is. I'm not going to put out another video until next Tuesday. I need to take a break to do my other jobs. So it won't be a real break. It will not be relaxing, but I'm doing a one-night performance of the unrehearsed Macbeth happening Shakespeare by the Sea, Point Pleasant Park, Halifax, Nova Scotia, September 1st, which means that we get all of our lines and we get like the cue lines for everybody else. And that's it. We show up with an idea in our head, what we want to do, how we want to make the characters happen. And I'm Macbeth. So I have 30 pages of sides to learn. It's a lot. It's a lot of text and Shakespearean text, and I'm behind. So I'm filming this a bit earlier, and I just need to be able to focus on that. And so apologies, but then I'll be doing Crowdfunding Countdown on September 2nd, and I'll put that out September 3rd, which is a Tuesday. So I'm going to be breaking my Monday, Tuesday thing, but that's just how it's got to be. And I'll probably in that time film a recap with the cast of what games they liked and try to get a few more played because I have a couple that I need to review and I still need to play with the cast. So those are my goals. You won't see me, but you can watch a different video of mine of my, past 400 that you haven't seen if you miss me desperately. And I miss you too. And I hate taking any breaks in the schedule that I put forward. I just hate it. And I'm probably going to have to do it again for Vegas. But it just has to happen because I want this show to be good. I need this show to be good. And I am the lead, so I have to put in the work to make sure that's good. So if you happen to be in the Nova Scotia area, September 1st, hey, it's gonna be a good show. I am excited. I have a cool concept, which I'll share here. Spoiler alert if you're coming. But my concept is that Macbeth is a very bloody play. And so I want to have a very white costume, and I want to get buckets of blood to attach to my belt. And so slowly over the course of the play, I'm going to get more and more blood on my hands. We're going to get more and more blood on my face and on my eyes and touching my costume and figuring out the streaks so that by the end, I'm just covered in it. And you see the impact of all the murders that Macbeth has done and that those sort of kind of keep going over the course of the play, which I think conceptually will be really cool. But I won't be rehearsing it. Well, I mean, I'll be mentally rehearsing it. I'll be rehearsing my own stuff. I don't know how other people are going to interact. I don't know if they will be wearing full Elmo costumes or what the ghost of Banquo will be to try to break me on stage. And so I will be laughing on stage. It will probably be funny. And then hopefully I can bring the seriousness and because somebody's got to do the play. So that's what's up with me. That's a little life update. And I'm excited, and I hope it'll be a good show. So I guess I'll let you know how it is. I'll film the next Crowdfunding Countdown after closing, and I'll be staying up late, and will endeavor to get it done for the Tuesday. It might end up being Wednesday. It will happen that week, guaranteed, but we might be taking a break until next Tuesday or Wednesday. Just so you know, and only the true Crowdfunding Countdown compatriots will have gotten this far, and inevitably on Monday, I will get people commenting on Crowdfunding Countdown. This video, this exact video, saying, "Where's the Crowdfunding Countdown? It's Monday," and you haven't made it this far. So maybe you did. Maybe you figured that out. Anyway, I just appreciate all of you. I appreciate you all coming back. I appreciate you all when you notice that things are off on the schedule, and I like being a part of your routine, and I really cherish that personally. So I try to not do this when I can, but I really need to just focus up. And that's what I gotta do. So I appreciate you all, and I will see you later. My name is Chris George. I don't have a catchphrase, but blood will have blood.